Thank you for joining the latest in our structural engineering series. My name is Matt Williamson. I'm here to introduce our speaker today, Derek Jacobs, who will be speaking on the structural repair strategies. Derek is our structural engineering department manager. He has been with ADF for 14 years. He's licensed in quite a number of states across the country. How many, Derek?
Probably about 26, 27.
More than half. All right. Thank you, Derek. So if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them in the chat window and I will ask those questions to Derek at the end of his presentation. And with that, I will hand it off to Derek Jacobs. Take it away, Derek.
All right. Yeah, thanks everybody for taking time to kind of sit with us today. This is, I think, hopefully a little bit of a fun topic, even though it's, when these items and issues come up, it's never a good, for you it's never a good time, but hopefully we'll cover some interesting stuff, see some interesting pictures today, and kind of figure out what you can expect when you see stuff like this and what you can expect to happen as a result. So that's kind of what I want to talk about. We're going to learn about different types of damage and repair, what those repairs would need. We'll kind of go one by one through, when we walk down a site as a structural engineer, what is the most common to maybe least common types of issues that we find, and then what are those associated repairs that go with it. And so hopefully by the end of this, you might be a little bit equipped yourselves to, when you're at these sites every day, being able to recognize some problems, and if anything, give you, an idea of when you want to call in some help from an engineer to help you address some of these issues before they get out of hand. Or, we want to talk about prescriptive methods. If everything's easier to repair right away and then waiting for a long time, letting it get worse. Same with anything in your house or your car. If your check engine light's on too long and you just keep ignoring it, those repairs are going to get more and more costly. So we want to look at all these things. The guidelines I'm kind of going to be referencing a little bit, and I mentioned I did take a couple pictures from both of these documents, so that are pretty helpful. The first one is the AISC, which is the American Institute of Steel Construction. Their design guide 16, which is actually a new version, just came out, governs or pretty much addresses the assessment and repair of structural steel in existing buildings. So a lot about what we'll be talking about today. And then ACI, which is American Concrete Institute, their guidelines 546. It's kind of the same thing on their end, which is Concrete Repair Guide. When we both of these address just not only the repairs, but also the assessments and determining what kind of damage we're going to be looking at and what the issues are. And so they cover a lot actually too about testing and really getting into the forensics of what you're dealing with. And that's a little bit more, they go in a little bit more depth than we do. I think, when we go to a site, our first step in the assessment is going to be collecting that information too, which includes dimensions and shapes, steel shapes, dimensions of beams, lengths, the strength of the materials, and determining what the original design assumptions were for any structure we're looking at, which is to say, and I'll repeat, if any of you guys were here for my very first webinar, which was the basics, kind of structural basics 101, the one thing I always try to encourage everyone to do is to keep your structural drawings. It is a very valuable tool for an engineer coming into your existing site to be able to take a look at those. And sometimes I know they get lost. It's hard to keep track of them over 20, 30, 40 years, but knowing what the original intent and everything was of these buildings is very valuable. Kind of going into a little bit about that right now. material